All right, time to begin the delve phase. In the previous episode, we gained some information leading us into a quest. Now, with all the components laid out and prepared, we're ready. Let's begin with Delve Round 0. Please pause the video and read paragraph 0001. Well, we have our first objective. Get through the Panzer Gate. We'll explain what it is in a moment. Now that we have a goal and a direction to follow, let's examine our starting kingdom tile. You'll notice that there are 3 symbols indicating paths leading from this tile. These paths can take you to other kingdom tiles. The shape of the symbols tells you what size of kingdom tile each path leads to. In this case, 2 of the valid paths lead to small kingdom tiles, S9 and S12, and 1 leads to a large kingdom tile, L3. That L3 is our objective for this quest. However, next to the corresponding path marker, you'll notice a single lock symbol. This is the Panzer Gate mentioned in the quest objective. As long as the Panzer Gate is there, you cannot pass. Now, let's place a single Panzer Gate token on this path to mark this. Next, you might have noticed a circle with a downward pointing arrow on our starting tile. This represents the entrance to a sub-kingdom. We won't be using this mechanic today, so simply ignore it. If you're curious what it is, sub-kingdoms are a part of our 10,000 Succulent Fears expansion, and the entrances lead to entirely new areas. Lastly, our tile has an exploration cipher on it. Each knight has an exploration cipher of their own too, and when you combine them, you get a paragraph number to read in your Kingdom Codex. Knights have default ciphers listed at the start of their knight books, but for this adventure, they're different. Now, Kara should read paragraph 3199, and Fleischritter should read paragraph 3100. Please pause the video and read them now. Okay, now let's resolve the mechanical effects. Kara gains 1 passion, and Fleischritter places a Fleisch token on his knight board. And lastly, a small disclaimer. In a typical expedition, your starting tile is considered already explored, so you wouldn't trigger the exploration ciphers on it. We did that here just to demonstrate how this mechanic works. This is it for the starting tile. We'll now begin with the first round of the delve phase, and walk you through each step of the delve round sequence. Keep in mind that during each round, time will advance. It's important to make each delve round count, or we might fail our objectives. Alright, the first part of the delve round is the travel step, where we choose where to go. As you may remember from paragraph 0001, our knights need to get through the Panzer Gate leading to L3. But to do that, they must obtain a stone key first. The game hints that the key is somewhere to the northwest, so we'll begin by moving to the north via Kingdom Tile S9. But before we move the party marker, we must first resolve all the symbols on the back of the tile. This leads us to the second step of the delve round, the Kingdom Tile step. This step is where we resolve all symbols on the back of the tile we're about to move on to. First, adjust the time and threat values. Every move from one tile to another typically costs time, while the amount of threat changes based on the size of the tile you're moving on to. Medium, large, and extra large kingdom tiles cause you to gain threat, while small kingdom tiles can cause you to lose it. Now we must advance time by 1, and we lose 1 threat. Move the cubes on the kingdom track to reflect that. Notice that we don't have any threat to lose yet, so that track stays at 0. Next, let's flip our new tile and place the party marker there. Then place any connected kingdom tiles next to it face down. These are your new paths leading out of this tile. Now we move to the exploration step. In this step, we draw cards from the exploration deck, So, draw the top card from the exploration deck we prepared earlier and resolve it. According to the instructions from the first episode, the card you draw should be Rat Wolves. This card has an active effect, so we must place it on the active effect space on the kingdom sheet. Next, we must place a generic token on it. Now, during a typical expedition, we'd place it on a randomly determined direction, but for the sake of this scripted scenario, we'll make an exception to the rule and place it on the right of the card. Note that the card has a gated effect at the bottom, separated by a horizontal line. This one would have triggered on high threat, but thankfully we can ignore it this time. Remember, the longer an expedition goes on, the more likely it is you'll start triggering gated effects. And that's it for the first delve round. Let's move on right to round 2 now. Alright, this round, before anything else happens, the start of round effect of the Rat Wolves card we drew last round triggers. Let's add another generic token. Since we're going clockwise, it should be on the bottom of the card. Before the party makes up its mind where to go, knights may use special abilities, called techniques, to help them during delves or clashes. Kara has a delve technique, Outrider Reconnaissance, that allows her to reveal a kingdom tile adjacent to the party's current location. We'll use it on M6. Flip the tile face up and place a generic token on it to mark it as unexplored. Pretty cool, right? But there's always a cost to using techniques. In this case, 1 heat. Move the clear acrylic cube on Kara's heat track up 1 space. Sometimes techniques can also give you a small bonus called a warm-up effect. This time around, it's an opening token. We'll talk more about tokens later, but for now, we just place it in the night pool. With this, we're finished using the technique card. We must now put the card in the appropriate area on the night board. Check the symbol displayed at the bottom of the card. There are 4 types of card depletion. Cards in the cooldown area return to your hand when refreshed. Cards in the delay area are moved to the cooldown area when refreshed. Cards in the discard area cannot be refreshed and consequently cannot be recovered by regular means outside of rest. The last type of depletion is instant. When you use a technique with an instant depletion, it returns to your hand at the end of the current night or monster round. In this case, the card goes to the cooldown area, so let's place the card there. Next, it's time for the travel step. We've already decided to move to M6 and get that key, so let's move on to the Kingdom tile step. First, remove the generic token from the tile, then resolve all symbols on the back like usual. This time, we gain 1 time and 1 threat. But wait, remember the local urchins we hired back at the outpost way back in episode 1? Their early bird ability could help us out now to negate that threat gain. To use it, simply leave the threat track as it is and move only the time cube. Since this is a one-time effect, that's all the urchins can do for us in this expedition. Next up is a new symbol, a clue. Whenever you see it, there's a chance for your knights to gain a clue token. To determine what kind of clue it is, we'll use the exploration deck. First, look at the back of the top card. You'll notice that there's a different clue on each of the 4 sides. The party gains the clue that matches the direction they move in. So, in this case, we gain the clue on the west or left side of the card. Any knights that have it as the primary or secondary clue type will gain a clue token now. Place the gained clues on your clue cards. Now, time to resolve the other side of M6. Flip the tile face up, then place tiles M5 and S8 around it face down, and move the party marker. As you can see, M6 has a symbol on it. It indicates a point of interest. This particular point of interest, a guard statue, always provides the same effect. the stone key we were after. Perfect. Take a stone key token and put it near you. Next up is the exploration step. Draw the top card from the exploration deck. According to our previous setup instructions, it should be the Panzer Pit card. The card's effect tells us to place Panzergate tokens on all unlocked paths leading out of this tile except the one we just came from. Let's do that now. Since Panzer Pit is an instant effect card, once it's resolved, it goes to the discard pile. Let's place it face up next to the deck. All right, the exploration step is resolved, and we have the stone key our quest told us to get, so it's time to proceed to the next step of the round, the story step. Please pause the video now and read passage 0002. Note that this passage gave us a new objective. With no way forward, we need to find our way back to Kingdom Tile S13 and unlock that pesky Panzergate. Well, let's proceed right to Delve Round 3. Again, first off, we must resolve the start of round effect on Rat Wolves. Place a third generic token on the exploration card, this time on the left side. With that done, time for the travel step. The way forward is blocked, and we can't waste the key, so let's backtrack. This calls for an explanation. Backtracking is a special kind of movement, where you move back onto kingdom tiles you've already explored. You can cross multiple kingdom tiles in a single round this way, but there's a catch. The first tile you backtrack onto causes you to gain 1 time, but for each next tile, you must gain 1 threat. In this particular case, we're backtracking 2 tiles, so we gain 1 time and 1 threat. Move the cubes on your kingdom track to reflect this. You might have already noticed, but moving in this way triggers the effect of Rat Wolves, since we just moved in a direction covered by a token. The effect states that each knight loses 1 vigor. However, we do have that warrior mercenary we hired back at the outpost in episode 1. Let's use their Delve ability on side A of the card to reduce Kara's vigor loss to 0. Now flip the mercenary's card over to side B. The other characters still lose vigor as normal, and since Fleischritter lost vigor, his heat limit increases. Never forget to increase heat limit when your knights lose vigor. That 1 point might just save you in a pinch. Now, since we resolved this effect, we can finally discard the Rat Wolves card. Do you remember what step comes next? Yes, it's the exploration step. We draw a card from the exploration deck, and due to how we set things up, that card is Marching to the Silent Drum. It tells us to perform a rotation and scavenge 2. Let's break that down. To perform a rotation, move all encounter monster tokens on the Kingdom's District wheel 1 space clockwise. That's it. Now, to resolve Scavenge, you add cards to your loot deck from the Scavenge deck. Since the keyword doesn't specify loot card type, normally we could now choose from Kingdom Gear, Upgrade Loot, and Consumable Gear loot cards. However, for this tutorial, we will specifically add 2 cards from the Consumables category. Since it's Scavenge 2, we'll take 2 cards. Now we've got our first spoils in the loot deck. Now that the exploration step is complete, we can move on to the story step. We've reached our destination of Kingdom Tile S13, so let's go to step 25 in the Learn to Play and read passage 0003. During this segment, you'll be faced with a choice, directing you to either passage 0004 or 0005. Both will then instruct you to make a mark on your night sheets. Write it down in the Boons Tally Marks and Notes section. Then, follow the directions in each passage until you're told to return to the Delve phase. Please pause the video and read this story portion now. At this point, the story step is over, we have a new objective, and we can progress to Delve Round 4. First off, the travel step. Since we have the stone key needed to open the Panzergate, We can now discard both the key and the gate tokens to move to L3. But first, remove the generic token from L3 and flip the tile face down. Next, the Kingdom tile step. Resolve the back of the tile, gain 1 time, 2 threat, and 2 clues. Whenever you gain multiple clues from a single tile, you gain the first clue as normal, based on the direction of your movement and the top exploration card. Then, to determine each subsequent clue after the first, draw a minor mortis card, check the direction symbol in the bottom right corner, and cross-reference it again with the top exploration card. When you're done, put the mortis card at the bottom of the deck. Now, flip the tile face up and place tiles M10, S14, and S15 face down. This time, we found a point of interest marked with the number 1. In order to resolve it, reveal the top exploration card. If you did everything correctly earlier, it should be the Panzergate card. Next, apply the +1 point of interest modifier found in the top left corner of the card. That gives us 2 in total. Now, we must refer to the Principality of Stone Kingdom sheet and resolve the effect corresponding to number 2, which is an overlooked alleyway. The effect states that each knight may gain 1 clue of their choice. Take 1 chosen clue token for every character. Remember, whenever a game effect allows you to gain a chosen clue, you're still bound by the types of clues on your clue card. Next up is the exploration step. This is where we resolve the Panzergate exploration card properly. It tells us to place a new Panzergate token on a random path. To determine a random path, simply draw a minor mortis card and check the direction symbol in the bottom right corner. That's your random direction. Place it at the bottom of the mortis deck, just as before. Once you're done resolving the card, proceed to the story step. Pause the video and read paragraph 0007, then return here before you resolve the mechanical effects. During this story passage, Fleischritter will need to perform a virtue test of fortitude at a difficulty of 10+. Each knight has 6 virtues: bravery, tenacity, sagacity, fortitude, might, and insight. Each of them is also better at different things. To perform a test, simply roll a single 10-sided die and add your knight's virtue bonus to the result. Then compare your result to the difficulty of the test. If you roll the I symbol, it means you rolled a 10, which is always a success. Similarly, a 1 on the die is always a fail. Now, before you make the roll, always check for any optional bonuses you might have. First off, Fleischritter has a +2 bonus to fortitude. If you marked LTP2 on your knight sheets earlier, it would grant you another +2 bonus. And lastly, Fleischritter can use his technique card, Knight Prowess, to add yet another +2 to the result. Let's use it now. Don't forget to add the warm-up bonus to the knight pool as well. Now, roll the die and tally up your score. If your total score is equal to or more than 10, you succeed. If not, you fail. If you fail, you may gain 1 heat to re-roll your die once. Then resolve the effect corresponding to your result, and pause to read 0008. This is it for the scripted delve phase. In the next episode, we'll cover your first clash against the Ironcast Dead that we just got ourselves into. See you there, and thank you very much for watching.